Well, what do you know? Take a look, everybody, and listen.
Civilization 6 is bringing all new leaders to help you reshape history and reimagine the future.
That's right, Civilization 6 is back with what is seemingly a new Frontier Pass 2. In this video, I'll take you through everything that we need to know. They actually revealed basically everything if you delve in a little bit behind the scenes on what this new Civilization 6 DLC will have in store for us as it releases in a week's time. And of course, the many months hereafter. In the Civilization 6 Leader Pass, we'll delve into all of the juicy detail. Do subscribe if you'd like more, and without any further ado, let's jump in. So, if you're not already familiar, Civilization 6 has a pretty wide roster of leaders, and that is set to expand, with the leaders that I'm showing you on screen, or the historical figures, I should say, all being added into the game. These 4 were the key ones that were touted, of course, in the initial trailer art that was leaked a few days ago. Now we have all of the detail and also some of the more interesting things around how they're actually releasing this pack. So with some Civilization gameplay in the background, the first thing that I'd like to discuss is what is coming and how are they delivering it. And as I suggested at the start of the video, this very much seems to be a new Frontier Pass 2, following a very similar format. And in an age of Battle Pass and subscription gaming, it makes a lot of sense that we would see the Civ 6 Leader Pass release. Now, what does it actually include? Well, if you bought the new Frontier Pass, you'll be very familiar with this format. 6 DLCs scheduled to release between November 2022, around a week away, actually from the time of recording, and March 2023. So it's 6 separate little DLCs, likely one released roughly each month. It'll have 12 brand new leaders and 6 takes on classic Civilization leaders, reimagined if you will. They go on to say that it'll encourage us to take new approaches to our gameplay, diplomacy, war expansion, yada yada yada. They also, though, hint at some perhaps new features alongside these leaders. They say that each leader arrives with a suite of surprising new or updated abilities alongside inventive new agendas that'll change the way you play over 5 exciting months of world domination. So there's a whole load to unpack just inside of that alone. It's a new Frontier Pass structure. We'll be receiving roughly 1 DLC pack a month, and we actually have the information for every single one of those packs we'll receive already. Maybe some granular detail around additional features is missing, but fundamentally, we have all of the names of the new leaders. It's looking good, honestly, the amount of information that they've fronted us with, that is. So with the when out of the way, let's move on quickly to the what. Here's everything that's coming. In the first pack, releasing in November, we'll see Abe Lincoln, another leader for the United States. Feels like they're going to have more leaders than states at some point. Also, Queen of the Congo, and a new leader for Arabia as well, coming in the Great Negotiators pack. Following on in what will likely be sometime during December, we have the Great Commanders pack, including an alternative leader for Japan, Persia, and the Ottoman Empire. Very exciting. You'll notice a lot of asterisks here. We'll get to those soon. Pack 3, the Rulers of China, likely releasing December-January period, establishing new dynasties with rulers of China, including not 1, 2, but 3. Some very famous names as well, returning from Civilization 5. Woo, great to see you. In number 4, we have the Rulers of the Sahara pack. Interesting, taking us over to Egypt, where we receive not 1, but 2 additional leaders for Egypt, trying to chase down the United States, and also a king of Mali. Moving along to the 5th pack, likely releasing sometime around February of next year, we have the Great Builders pack. Here, the Byzantines, Koreans, and Germany each receive a leader, and a whole load of asterisks too. And last but not least, likely releasing in March of 2023, we have the Ruler of England pack, featuring Elizabeth, Victoria, so 2 of them actually, as well as a leader for Norway. Existing civilizations, new leaders. One of the themes, of course, of this DLC release. Now, let's talk about the sidebars, the requirements, not the when, the what, but the how. You will have noticed that a lot of those packs that I just covered require existing ones, from Gathering Storm to the new Frontier Pass. That's what those asterisks were about. However, this comes with both good and bad news for how this pack will be releasing. As you can see, the Leader Pass will be coming to Steam and Epic, and it will be available for free. It's already included if you own the Civ 6 Anthology Edition, which you can also choose to upgrade in. To be honest, the Civilization 6 DLC market is... it's pretty messy, frankly. It's kind of like when Game of Thrones was releasing their complete DVD collection after every season. So many complete collections, it gets almost impossible to track. If you take a look on the Steam page, you'll see, of course, the Leader Pass here, with all of its asterisks and trials and tribulations that go with. In a nutshell, what you need to know is if you have the Anthology and the New Frontier Pass and Gathering Storm, you'll be fine. However, you'll also need Rise and Fall. So basically, you need to go and make sure that you have the Civilization 6 Anthology, the complete anthology in your back pocket. If we navigate to the Steam store, one of two stores, of course, where this will be available, you'll see, firstly, it's on a great special, although isn't it always, but could be a good time to pick it up. And secondly, you'll notice there's a lot of content for the game, and some of it overlaps. However, the Steam store presents it actually in quite a clear way. The New Frontier Pass, the system that this one's modeled off, you can see there. Perhaps we could use its price as an indication for what the Leader Pass might be priced at. We'll have to wait and see. Releasing on the 21st of November, though, it's fairly clear-cut for Steam users. If you have the Anthology, it's free. If you don't, then you'll need to pay for it, but you'll also need the existing DLC. So it kind of puts you in a situation where you either have it all, or you kind of have nothing. At least for some of the packs. Navigating to the Epic store, and it's an epic difference. Not only will you be paying 10 times the price in your New Zealand dollars, but it also gets a little bit confusing. You have the Anthology, which is the complete edition. You have the Platinum edition, which came out before the Anthology and doesn't include the New Frontier Pass. And of course, sometimes you can purchase the New Frontier Pass DLC in different pieces. Those 6 packs that we discussed earlier may be available to purchase individually. At least they were, I believe, with the New Frontier Pass. This meant that you could purchase ones that you were able to play, i.e. I have Rise and Fall DLC, so I can play this one, but not that one. It was a little messy, and in a nutshell, the advice here, or at least my early advice, would be if you have the Anthology, you don't need to worry about it. This will be arriving in your Steam library every single time these come out for free. If you don't, it's going to get a little messy with compatibility. I'll leave the purchasing decisions ultimately up to you, of course. There is one more thing to cover. The final free update to Civilization 6, April 2021. In this final free update, quote, of the season, comes new units, etc., etc. This was the base for much speculation around the future of Civ 6 or 7, and indeed, something that I love to speculate on. My key running theories were that either we would see a Civ 7, it's about right considering how long they've left between releases, or we would see an expansion to Civilization 6, because it remains an incredibly popular historical strategy game, and also, Firaxis have talked about how the New Frontier Pass was the most successful DLC launch for them. It kept players interested for longer because it was released periodically over a relatively short but interesting period of 6 months, instead of it all being dumped on the market at once. It kept players interested, engaged, and the barrier to entry was relatively low compared to massive expansions. Until you started, of course, to stack all of the packs together into what would be the New Frontier Pass. The point here is that it's clear that Civilization 6 is obviously still receiving paid DLC. This is a paid expansion. However, they do make point of noting that the final free update was based on some sort of season. Content seasons, of course, rather than real-life ones. Otherwise, my goodness, it's been a 2-year-long winter. That aside, though, personally, I'm actually fairly excited about this. Yes, I can understand the criticisms, and I'm sure there will be many in the comments section. Not only understand, but actually empathize with, to be completely honest. However, as a player of these games, and it has been a fairly long winter for Civ 6, it's nice to see Firaxis paying some attention toward it, especially considering Marvel Midnight Suns, their other game, is releasing next month, after a somewhat difficult and stumbling delayed launch. It appears to be finally showing its face. Thank you very much for joining me today in this Civilization 6 DLC announcement video. I'll be sure, of course, to cover more as it releases, including next week with the first pack. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.